Thank you, George. Thank you for, great to see you again, my dear friend. Thank you for the invitation. Minister, thank you for joining us today. It's very important to have you here. And of course, the distinguished panelists that are joining me. I have a quick presentation. I don't know if we can share that quickly. If not, I can talk about it. Excellent. Thank you. First of all, let me thank you for inviting the global private sector, a little bit over 200 CEOs from around the world, as you know, part of WTTC. And we represent all the industries from airlines, hotels, cruises, destinations as well. And these are just some of the faces. And of course, they are very interested in investing and work as they have also travelers to Croatia. If we move to the next slide, please. The COVID has been an unprecedented crisis, and unfortunately, the impact to our sector has been devastating. 174 million jobs globally have been impacted. In Europe, it's a little bit over 23 million jobs. And when I'm saying impacted, this is a combination of jobs that unfortunately have been lost, and also some jobs that have been furloughed or have decreased the number of hours. Currently, we have different rules, different type of tests, different vaccination rollouts, different apps and solutions for health passes, unclear mobility rules, and protocols based in every destination, which is adding a very complexity to the current situation. Now, next slide, please. The question here that we believe is important to answer is, how do we achieve a fair balance between public health, that is top priority for WTTC and for governments and for all of us, while at the same time, we have some issues as a result from COVID. Mental health has increased, problems, domestic abuse. We have seen an increase in the social impact because of the lack of travel and the lack of tourism. Of course, in some nations, in some countries, we have seen an increase in poverty, job losses, economy, and on top of everything, unfortunately, even exploitation. Next, please. So what we have been engaged with governments and different organizations is that how can we achieve an international mobility protocol by working together? In one end, we need to think about how do we move from country assessment to individual assessment, because individuals are the ones that are getting COVID. So if someone has been tested and tested positive for COVID, that individual should be put in quarantine. We believe that there's no one solution that fits all. So we need to do rapid testing before departure so that we can avoid exporting or importing COVID, and or a vaccination certificate. Both of these digital certificates will go in an app that consumer or travelers can have in their phone. And of course, that in addition to the safe travel protocols, which is wearing the mask, the hygiene, the distance, and all the things that we know, that will take us to safe travel and the right protocols to resume mobility. It is very important to be aligned to resume mobility, because if we don't resume this international mobility, we're not going to be able to achieve the balance that I mentioned before. Next slide, please. So basically, what we are talking in WTTC, that the principles to safely restore it is crucial to have this international coordination. We work very well with the EU. In the case of Croatia, it was mentioned, well, 10% of the global GDP is a contribution for travel and tourism. According to our data, for Croatia was 25% in 2019. International is very important. 89% of the total contribution was international, and leisure, of course, is very important compared to business. So this international coordination is crucial in order to resume mobility. We need to continue with the health and hygiene protocols, wearing the mask in all forms of transportation and during the travel experience, the sanitization. We also have to implement the testing, low-cost testing before departure, so that we avoid exporting the virus. And of course, using the technology and the solutions available to identify the people infected and assign those infected to specific quarantines. And technology for these green passes, as the EU has been calling them, and to continue having the support from governments, that is crucial to resume international travel. Thank you. Bottom line, a lot of livelihoods have been impacted. And as WTTC, we're engaged with governments in advocacy for the benefit of these livelihoods so that we can resume back the jobs that have been lost and the jobs that have been affected. Thank you for the invitation again.